Hey guys, it's me, Bree. This is my surrogacy journey. I always like to remind you guys that I am in no way an expert about all things surrogacy. I am just sharing my personal journey, and that's all I can do. Hopefully you guys learn something from it. If you guys watched my last video, you know that Aiden and I are home. I feel like every time I film for whatever reason, he's wearing this shirt. I don't know why that is. I promise he has other shirts, but I feel like every time we film, he's wearing that shirt. As you can see, I have no makeup on this morning. I have my mirror in front of me, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I just know that I'm bored. Most days have been doing my makeup. There's only been a few days that I haven't done my makeup. Just because, you know, it's also nice actually just giving my skin a little bit of a break. It just kind of makes me feel normal amongst this like crazy, you know, quarantine, isolation, social distancing mess. I don't even know what else to call it. I am 29 weeks, so I have officially made it to my third trimester. I've been meaning to film a third trimester video all week. I just haven't gotten to it. I've really been using this time to spend with Aiden. My dog is back. She was away for a little while because she had puppies. My mother-in-law is an Australian Shepherd breeder. That's where we got her from. We never intended on breeding Bagheera, but she's 3. She turned 3 in January, and we still didn't have her fixed. And so it just kind of like one thing led to another. This is her only litter of puppies. She had an appointment to get spayed. And again, due to all this craziness, her appointment was canceled. And so eventually she will get fixed. You can check out my mother-in-law's Facebook page, Foothill Aussies. They are really great dogs. They're really great family dogs. Definitely high energy, so they are definitely a breed that needs some exercise and can adapt to apartment living. We live in an apartment. We've had her since she was a baby, so she's always done apartment living. Last week at 28 weeks, when I was officially like first in my third trimester, I actually had to go and do some testing. I did my glucose tolerance test. I don't have the results. My next appointment is coming up here next week, and I'm sure I'll have the result of that. People talk like very badly about the drink that you have to drink. It's literally just like a sugar flavored drink. You drink it, you have 5 minutes to drink it, which this time I had 5 minutes to drink it, but when I was pregnant with Aiden, I feel like it was much less. Like they actually gave it to me at the counter when I was checking in to do my labs, and they made me stand there and drink it and literally drink every single drop. Like there was like a drop at the bottom and they made me drink it, which is fine. But like they wanted me to chug that thing. You either pass or you fail. If you fail, then you go on to do a 3-hour glucose tolerance test, which I hope that I will not have to do. I didn't have to do that when I was pregnant with Aiden, so I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that I won't have to do it this time either. You may have heard about like this test because a lot of people hate the flavor of the drink, or like it makes them feel funny. doesn't bother me at all. It tastes like a flat, like High C orange or Fanta soda. Like it's not fizzy, it's not carbonated, but like it tastes like that. It doesn't bother me. My heart is going out to everybody who is in early pregnancy right now. I couldn't imagine being in early pregnancy and having like so many like what ifs, because I have been hearing that a lot of OBs are canceling appointments that aren't like either past 30 weeks or in the 3rd trimester. And that's honestly terrifying. There are a few people in my life who are pregnant and in early pregnancy. I would be terrified because, I mean, even if you've confirmed a pregnancy with like a blood test, there's no way of knowing, like you haven't had an ultrasound. So like there's no way of knowing that the pregnancy is, you know, one blood test says, yeah, you are pregnant, but it could be a chemical pregnancy. Like you're not continuing to do blood tests. So there's no way of showing that your numbers are going up. Also, without an ultrasound, you can't confirm that the pregnancy is where it's supposed to be. Maybe you have a pregnancy growing in your fallopian tubes. It's an ectopic pregnancy and it's not viable. The longer a pregnancy is growing in your fallopian tube, the more damage it's doing to your fallopian tubes. And so you could have trouble getting pregnant again. You know, it could get really extreme and you'd have to have your whole fallopian tube taken out. I think I am fairly optimistic normally, and I'm not like trying to think negatively. I'm not trying to put like bad energy out in the universe. I'm trying to stay positive for my family, for my friends and family, for everybody who is in pregnancy at any point. It's just crazy that this is what's happening right now. Like if I were in early pregnancy, this is the stuff that I would be thinking about. I don't know how I would cope with like having my appointments canceled. Like prenatal care is extremely important, and to just not get that, I don't get it. So I'm trying to find the positives where I can. I have not had my appointments canceled or rescheduled on me. Like I said, I am 29 weeks, so next week I will be 30 weeks, and that's when my appointment is. And I am in my 3rd trimester. So I don't know if my OB has been canceling appointments and I just happen to have mine because I'm so far along, or if she's not canceling any appointments. I have no idea. What I am scared about is delivery. Again, I try to be optimistic and positive, and I'm a pretty go with the flow person for the most part. Like I'm flexible and I'm not afraid of change, but everyone's birthing experience is different. So you would get a different answer from like anybody you talk to about what their experience was like. I delivered Aiden with Kaiser. I loved them. They were about 30-45 minutes away from where I live. I went into labor in the middle of the night, so I didn't have to deal with any traffic. My actual OB was not at the hospital, so a different OB delivered my son. I don't remember her name. I only met her like twice, I think. I am terrified of thinking of having to go through birth alone. For me personally, that sounds absolutely terrifying, and like I feel like I couldn't think of anything worse. Well, okay, I could think of a lot of things worse than just delivering alone. I only pushed for 30 minutes with Aiden, so it's not like I was pushing for like 3 hours like some first time moms do. But I did have an epidural and it took all of my belly pain away, but I felt everything else. And they actually like didn't believe me. They kept asking me like if I wanted a mirror to see where he was, and I was telling them like I can feel where he is. They asked me if I wanted to like feel like with my hand where he is, and I was telling them I can feel him, like I know where he is, and they weren't believing me. And they didn't believe me until they were stitching me, and I was like flinching and wincing with every stitch. And they're like, then my doctor said, "Can you feel that?" I was like, "Mm-hmm. Yep, I've been telling you this whole time, I can feel it." In retrospect, if I had to choose one or the other, I guess I would choose the belly pain, only because like that was so much longer. My labor was so much longer than just 30 minutes of pushing. So if I had to pick, I would have it this way. So I can't imagine though, like laboring for hours and hours and hours and pushing out a baby and then just nothing. Like, I truly can't imagine anything. I think that's traumatic. But giving birth and laboring alone and then just being completely alone in the hospital, I just, in no world do I think that that sounds like any kind of a solution, and I don't think it's right. I know some hospitals are still allowing one support person in the delivery room, but others are not allowing anybody. For the people who like aren't taking this virus seriously, I understand this just kind of seems like a lot, like we're taking a lot of precaution. It can seem extreme, I get it. But there are people like me who have young children, like my son, he's 1.5 years, and right now the salon that I'm working at is closed. It originally was only supposed to be closed for 2 weeks. Now it is extended until further notice, and you know, I did see that the social distancing was extended through April 30th. My son's school has also extended their closure throughout all of April. So he and I are home, and my husband, thankfully, is still working. He's working from home. He's actually going into his 5th week working from home. I just can't imagine like getting sick or going into like preterm labor or something and having to be hospitalized. I know that some people aren't taking it as seriously because they are healthy and they're not worried about getting the virus because they think that, you know, they'll just, you know, fight it off and it won't be a big deal. But not everyone can. People who are pregnant, people who are immunocompromised, like my sister Hannah, who has been on my channel, these people can't just get better. They are going to be the ones who are looking at more extensive care and treatment, and these are the people who are dying. And so it's just like, honestly, blows my mind when people are not taking this virus seriously. It's not just about you, it's about the health and well-being of everybody, and not everybody can fight it off in the same way that you can. So be respectful. The only thing that I have had a hard time with my OB is getting a note for work. Right now it's not an issue because the salon is closed, but her official advice is the same as the CDC's. So she is recommending social distancing, and she has faxed over a note to my surrogacy agency, Northwest Surrogacy Center, saying that that is what she's recommending for me. And so, you know, as a hairstylist, this is before the salon actually closed. As a hairstylist, I can't work with my clients from 6 feet away. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So she wrote a note saying that I have to practice social distancing, but then she wouldn't write a note saying that I can't work, which is completely contradictory and doesn't make any sense. So when I see her next week, that is going to be something that I have to talk to her about. Either like, okay, are you recommending social distancing for me? Because if you are, that means I can't work. There's no, like, it can't be one or the other. I can't work. It's not, it just doesn't make sense to me. So, hopefully we get that figured out with her, and she either writes me a note saying that I can't work, or she says, actually, I'm not following the CDC's recommendations. You don't have to follow social distancing. And then when the salon does reopen, I can go back to work. It feels so good to put a lash on. For my clients who watch these videos, my salon clients, I am so sorry that we don't have like a more definitive answer for you. Everyone is going through the same struggle. I know, you know, you all have your own struggles as well, whether that's, you know, trying to figure out homeschooling with your kids, or maybe you're also out of work. Whatever it is, we are all dealing with our own struggles through this virus in one way or another. And I know that I'm not alone, and hopefully I will be back in the salon soon enough. I had a client who asked me yesterday about like some kind of a like selling some kind of a root touch-up kit. And logistically, I don't exactly know how that would work, because I do work for an Aveda concept salon. Aveda is a naturally derived color line, and it's professional hair color. So like normally we could not resell that color. Like we would get in trouble with Aveda if we resold color. But the owner of the salon, Dina, she said that she is actually waiting to hear back from Aveda. There was somebody else who had recommended that, and so she is waiting to hear back from Aveda. She is also thinking that they probably won't go for that, and logistically I'm not exactly sure what we would do. Like if we would go in and make customizable kits per client, because Aveda uses customizable color. We don't have like chocolate brown, golden blonde. Like we make all of our colors. So every one of our clients has a different formula. So I don't exactly know how that would work, if we would go in and, you know, just kind of mix up their color for them and have like an arranged pickup time, and then they would just pick it up and do it themselves, obviously at a way discounted rate, but like they wouldn't pay like a normal retouch price because they're buying a kit and they're doing it themselves. But that way the salon has some kind of a revenue. I don't know. If you are a hairstylist and you are doing these kinds of kits, I would love to hear logistically like how you're making that work, how you're putting these kits together, how you're selling them, if just the salon is making revenue from them, or if your stylists are also getting compensated in some way. I'm an actual employee. I do not rent my station. I am not a 1099 employee. We are commission based, which means we are always paid at least like hourly, and then we have technically like a service bonus. If you guys have any recommendations at all, please feel free to comment, because any kind of fundraising would be awesome. But also, you know, I am never in any world, in any case scenario, going to recommend at-home color. I'm just not. I'm not that stylist. There is a L'Oreal like root touch-up spray. I have never used it personally. I have clients who use it, and that is what Dina is recommending to her clients. You can actually buy it at Target. You know, right now it's kind of a weird situation because I'm looking at being home all of April, and then I'm gonna be in the salon in May, and at the end of May, I am gonna be going out on maternity leave because I'm due June 14th. So, you know, it's a weird situation. As soon as I can come back, I will be back. I'm not planning on not coming back before my maternity leave. There's just so many unknowns. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know how long the salon is going to be closed. I don't know if my doctor will, you know, take back her social distancing recommendation, or maybe she will have lifted it by then. I have no idea. And so there's just a lot of unknown right now. Nobody has the answers right now. We are doing a fundraiser right now that I have posted on my Instagram. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, it is _Bree_V. And I have a link in my bio. There is a site that is partnering with Aveda Salons just through today, March 30th. If you bought some merchandise, 50% of that goes directly to our salon team. This is our livelihood. We love doing hair. I love doing makeup. That there's a reason that I do that for a living. But it's not just something that I do for fun. It's not just a hobby. I really am, you know, this is how I support myself and my family. And so I'm not getting an income right now. For now, I am just counting my blessings. My husband is still working. And so we have his normal income coming in. I'm just trying to listen to the universe and, you know, do my part, and hopefully we just all get through this soon enough. Okay, you guys, I went ahead and finished my makeup off camera, and I am going to be making some lunch. My husband is on lunch here in 5 minutes, so I'm gonna go make lunch. We're gonna have lunch together, and then he has to go back. I say he has to go back to work, but he does have to go back to work, but it's funny because he is working from home, so he has to go back to our bedroom where he's working. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap up this very long video, and I will see you next time. Bye.